Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tevora Talks. I am your host, Cash, joined as always by my co-host and partner in cybercrime, Matt Mosley. How are you, Matt?
I am doing well.
How well? Very well. Scale of 1 to
Uh,
10. I mean, it's a Tuesday, so
yeah, we're like a 6 with like some first world problems.
that's not bad. So, I mean, I guess in like a third world, you're at a 10. So,
Yeah.
not too bad. Not too bad. I can't say the same about the cyber community recently.
Yeah. There's been some
And
major headlines, but not really major stories, I guess. Like you know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing with LastPass.
yeah,
Not that big a deal, but it's making
that's
headways. Anyway.
that LastPass. I'm telling you, I'm on to LastPass. If somebody from LastPass is listening to this, please figure out why I have to enter my master password more than I would my normal passwords, because that's really annoying. And please contact me. I'll be more than happy to interview you all. We can get this sorted out, clear your name. But until then, I'm on
I
to you.
I do find that funny. Like, so we did try to troubleshoot that on your account because I don't have that problem. I've been a LastPass customer for over a decade. I don't have that problem. And we went through the settings one by one, and you have the same exact settings as me, but for some reason,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. So like
racial profiling or something, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Tag Cash. He's from Iran. But look, so this is the situation. So I have my work computer, I got my personal computer. I use Chrome primarily. And I have like multiple profiles on each Chrome, right? Like my personal, my work, my one for like the podcast stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know if it's maybe the multiple of multiple, and you have to put a Chrome LastPass browser extension on each one of the profiles independently. So I mean, in total, there's plenty of them. Maybe it's just getting too much. I've like hit its threshold. I don't know.
That could be. I know that I have my mobile and then I have my work and my personal, and they're all logged in. Every once in a while, I have to log into one or the other, like my personal or my work, but um, it's not very often. It's not multiple times a day for sure, and it's usually like once a week it happens. So I
But
don't know. I don't know what's happening with you.
I have to say, I think last time I went and toggled some other new setting, and then it hasn't really been giving me that flavor again. Also, I noticed the other day that in addition to asking for the master password, initially it would like pop up a new tab and ask for just the one time password. But immediately after it asked for the master password, before ever entering that in. So possibly I always needed to do both, and I finally did both. I kind of did like a Control Shift T, brought that tab back up, and I don't know, maybe that was the glitch, but I don't want to speak
Hmm.
too soon.
Back in my network admin days, we called this OE,
What's OE?
operator
Oh,
error.
come on, man. I fell into that one. It's not you, it's me. Yep. All right,
I used
last
to have a
pass.
buddy in the Air Force who had some great stories as an IT admin, and I'm sure our listeners have the same. But one day on the base, he got called over. There was like a Marine that was, attached to the Air Force, and nothing against the Marines, but we know, the joke of they eat crayons and all that good stuff. So this doesn't help their case, but he calls him over because his monitor is acting up, and he
Hmm.
tells him because it's like all colored different. He tells him it's out of blue ink. So my buddy goes around in the back and he fills it up. He just wiggles the cable
That's
because the
so good.
VGA cable. I mean, this is back in the day, so the VGA
Yeah, yeah.
cable was like a little loose.
That's
But
so good.
another good story from him, just to kind of provide some entertainment here for the podcast.
Sure.
Um, so there was a big meeting going on, right? So the general or whatever, the high ranking Air Force colonel or something, was talking to the Pentagon, and this meeting was going to be like the next day. So my buddy's captain comes to him, tells him, hey, we got to get all ready for this, you know, yada, yada, yada. So he gets it all prepped and ready to go. And then he heads home for the day. And the next day, the meeting's happening, and the Pentagon can hear them, but they can't hear the Pentagon. Right. So the captain's
Okay.
like freaking out, right? Gets my buddy on the phone, gets him down there right away. He wasn't even supposed to be there that day. He was doing something else. Rushes over, you know, they've just been sitting there for probably 30, 45 minutes at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, both senior officers are just pissed off. And they say to my buddy, hey, like we can't hear the Pentagon, but they can hear us. Like, can you fix it? And he goes over, he walks over, and he notices that the volume button, the volume knob is all the way down.
Oh my
And
God.
he looks at the commander, and he just slowly turns it up. and
What is
then and then
what's the
starts
what?
walking out of the room. And as he's walking out of the room, he hears the commander say, "Did he just turn the volume up?"
That's so good. That's so good. He looked the commander dead in the eyes and very slowly increased the knob.
Which I'm sure his captain probably ripped him apart for that later on. But
Like, y'all called me out for this. You're launching bombs and stuff, and you're having those conversations.
no. So back in my desktop support days, those stories I lived for, you'd go over to like someone's computer and, oh, it's not working, and you just turn it on for them.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
And then
sure.
in the help desk ticket, you're right. The computer was in the OFF position, and so we put it in the ON position. Yeah.
That's so good.
Anyway, all right, back to security. Sorry.
What's that term from that series you showed me? It's like, have you tried rebooting? Have you
Oh yeah,
tried?
turning it off, turning it back on. The
Yeah,
IT crowd,
IT guy. There
such a
you go.
great show.
But okay, back to security stuff. So you ready for this one? You brought it to my attention. I looked into it. I think this is great. I mean, not in the what they did is obviously bad, but how
Oh,
they did
before
it.
we get into that,
Yeah.
let's finish LastPass.
Okay, last
So
one. Sorry.
LastPass notified everybody that there was a recent security breach. Now, this is in the 10 years I've been there, or you know, over the decade. This is what, the second, maybe third time I've been notified like this. Um, and so basically what this email said was that, you know, they had suspicious activity on their network. They realized that a developer had been compromised and possibly source code had been removed, but to their knowledge, no user accounts had been affected. And I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. I think my information is safe there. I'm not worried about it too much, because I
But
know,
where's the
at
but?
least based on their reports, that they do encrypt your data. And so like if you lose your master password, like there's no way to get it back unless you can do the recovery stuff. Um, and I think it's cool that LastPass does these proactive notifications, right? Like I said, there's been about two, maybe three, and each one of them has always been, hey, we noticed something. You may want to update your password, but we don't think anything's been affected. So, but the headlines, you sounds like LastPass has been breached and it's all over, you know?
You know, they should hit up their PR team probably and say something like, we weren't exactly breached per se, like fluff it up a little bit.
Right. There's no
Something.
evidence to suggest that that accounts have been compromised.
Yeah, something.
In fact, I think that's what they say in the article, right? It's like there's no evidence that customer passwords were accessed without authorization. That's the official.
Hey, that works.
All right.
Allegedly, allegedly. Or what's our favorite thing? A friend of mine
Yeah.
told me this story.
Uh, a guy I know.
A guy I know, yeah. So I've heard.
Not me, but a
Not
guy I
me,
know.
but from what I've heard. But other
But that
stuff I've
was
heard
true in
about.
our last podcast. It was not me at the airport hacking the kiosk. That was a friend of mine.
Right.
The other one that was kind of I don't know if it was prominent but or well known, but Plex also announced that they had had a breach. So
Oh,
if you're
really?
a Plex user, you definitely want to rotate your password there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So they're gonna get all your movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
I
what's
think you
the
can make
big.
purchases through Plex. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Oh, can you? Hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't make any purchases there, but
Yeah, imagine if you're out there and you're using Plex to make purchases, you're using
You're
Plex,
doing it wrong.
you're doing it wrong. And now I'm not trying to advocate for or against anything. I'm just trying to advise you that's not the intent of this software.
Yes, I am a Plex user, but all the content on there is stuff that I own that I have purchased and downloaded.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But you want to hear this is another fun one for the last, I think, recent week. I think it's been out like a week or two now, or right at the beginning of August, something, I don't know, but it keeps getting updated more and more. But Twilio, you know Twilio, you're the one that told me about it. I had to look into them. I hadn't really heard about Twilio much,
Yeah.
but I looked into them. So Twilio, from what I gather, I watched some of their stuff and read some of their articles. It's pretty cool service, right? I mean, we pretty much, I think everybody actually uses it very frequently, just no one knows. It's a very background service that a lot of companies use to communicate with clients via text and whatnot, right? Things like, company wants to alert a client about an order that's just being shipped. Instead of sending an email like it's 2002, some companies have figured out, hey, let's text our users information. The user can react to the text message and engage with us just like, normal day-to-day life nowadays, right? So
Right.
Twilio is a pretty cool platform. It has a lot of API configurations companies can take advantage of, and they promise that it's super simple to set up. They're saying it's just like a few lines of code almost to implement into your systems, which is really freaking cool. So
Yeah, but
a
how
lot
long
of
is it going to be
users,
around now?
yeah, I know, right? I think they got some tightening up to do, but this is the fun part, right? So how did they get hacked? So this new hack is been done by this group. They're called Group IB, I think. Is that it? Or is it 1B, IB, LB? I don't know. I can't.
I'll have to look. I thought it was 1B, but yeah, I'm not sure. Now
I
I'm not
think
sure.
I think that's a different discussion we need to have. Whoever came up with the English language or like computer interpretation of it, capital I, lowercase l, the number one, and that's one, the vertical dash line. There needs to be some better form of like distinguishing factor.
We'll save that debate for another day.
I'm writing it down. Make sure I rant about this a little longer. But anyway, so back
But
to this
this is a
topic.
company, right? This is a group
Yeah, so group IP, the IB,
IB.
group
Yeah.
IP. Fuck, I said it again. Group IB.
Yeah,
I guess.
groupib.com.
So they're the ones that have done this, and this is an attack that they have deemed called Octopus or 0K TAPUS, right? Whatever. So now how they're doing it and how they've done this very, very clever, but very unsophisticated phishing attack, and it's worked, right? I kind of reading into this. Have you read like how they really did this? It's not so hardcore.
I'm reading through it as we're talking right now. I'll
So
be honest.
yeah, so check this out. What they did, they obviously they're attacking. It's not just Twilio that was a part of this. A bunch of different organizations have been a part of this like massive octopus campaign, right? They saying about like 130 of them or so, but
Right, 125 customers affected out of a total of like 270,000, right? So it's
no,
a
no,
very
no,
small percentage.
that's no, those are Twilio's customers that were
Yeah.
affected. But I'm saying like this entire octopus campaign,
Oh, this
Twilio
type of
wasn't.
attack. Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Twilio wasn't the only victim of the mass attack. So like they're saying like over 130 or 136 other organizations were also a part of this. Like Twilio, Cloudflare was a target too, but Cloudflare thwarted the attack. Their systems are set up really good, so didn't have any issues. But how they did it is cool. I think it's simple. So what they did they attack and they send phishing text messages, right, to like for example, Twilio, to their employees. Just like the Twilio service itself would typically send a text message out to customers or whatnot, they sent that same system and made it look very similar to a message that would be received. And something along the lines of like, hey, this is your IT department. Alert, your schedule has changed or your login has expired. Please tap. Here's like one of the text. It says, please tap twilio-sso.com to update your password. All right. So it seems like something that possibly would come, and it seemed okay. So what happens next? It takes them, once they click on that link in the text message, it takes them to a copied site of that company's Okta login account, right? Just the main master Okta login, like, Tevora.com, for example, right? Or twilio.okta.com. But it's obviously not that. And then what happens is it says, to the victim, enter your credentials to update, pick a new password, enter your current password. Then when you do that, the next thing that pops up similar to Okta says, okay, to verify, enter your MFA code that you just received. Boom. The user gets a text, enters that. Next page, says, okay, great. Your credentials have been updated. Thank you for your participation. Something simple. And then obviously what happens, right? That's pretty much just a very clever form field. Sends all that information to the attacker via Telegram. So it's like, super encrypted. Can't do much there. Attacker receives it, they use it, they get in, then it's like history from there, right? So it's not a very hardcore, like, they had to break through all of these like 0-day vulnerabilities, nothing like that.
Right. Not hardcore, but sophisticated.
Yes,
Right. And it
sophisticated.
like a daisy chain of things that we already have done in the past, for years. Right. Setting up mock login pages that look just like the original login pages, sending a phishing email to get credentials. But this is I like how this was set up here, right? So they have the fake website that takes the user's credentials and their 2FA codes and then sends it to the attacker's like Telegram.
Yep.
And then the attacker uses it to log into the legitimate website.
That's it.
That's
Simple
pretty
as that.
fast. You have to do that pretty fast though, because like what 2FA codes last 1 minute usually, something like that.
That's a good question. I think I read that somewhere. I think it said Okta. I read it. It says 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my code on Authenticator doesn't.
Well, no, Authenticator updates every 30 seconds, but I've even used Auth where I enter that
Oh, like you
code
use the
after
six
update.
digit code and then a new one loads, and then you could still use the 6 digit code.
Yes,
First one.
MFA code expiring even after setting it to 30 minutes. So I don't know.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
it's maybe like account to account,
Well, you
but
still have to be pretty fast. I mean, you can't just sit there and come back to it later and log in.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm
It's
sure
got to
like
be.
those guys are like when they send that text message, it's like they're sitting there waiting. So the second it comes in.
But I'm sure, like with Telegram, you can set. I'm sure they scripted some sort of alert to notify them, like, "Oh, hey, we got some new creds." Probably even automated that part, logging into the Okta portal.
Yeah, maybe. Here, this one says the SMS code expires by default in 5 minutes once the code has been sent to the device. So five
So the
minutes.
way to beat this is to what? Do YubiKeys?
Because I mean, Okta has this new it's like a third factor of authentication. Once you even enter the MFA code, a new thing pops up on the computer screen. It says,
Or a blood sample?
yeah, you can do blood sample, your example. Scrape off a little of your skin, send it. No, but then like you'll get a second new prompt that'll have like three different digits on the screen, like 11, 19, and 81. And then you'll get a new prompt on your Okta app that shows one of them, right? Either A, B, or C. And then from on your computer, you'll physically click on the one that you see on your screen. So it's like you enter the auth code and then you kind of click on a secondary mini auth code kind of situation. I don't know if that's gonna like do much. I don't know what the new policy is on that, on if it's also a 5 minute expiration, how long does that stay active? I don't know. But nonetheless, like you said, it's a clever attack. They didn't really use any like elaborate coding, SQL injection, none of that crazy stuff.
Right. No 0 days.
No 0 days. They didn't have to.
O days for the hip crowd.
Who says O day?
I don't
Is that a thing?
know. Just ignore me. But yeah, okay. So Twilio was and Cloudflare were attacked by the same type of it or hit by the same type of attack. Cloudflare sounds like they did an okay job of blocking it, but Twilio unfortunately was breached and had 125 customers affected, right? According to them.
125 of Twilio's customers.
Right. Which
Okay.
of their how much was it? Like 200 and
They have a lot of clients.
yeah, it was like 200,000, something like that, right? It ended up being like 0.06%. But the companies that were hit were pretty big, right? So through Twilio, Cloudflare did get hit. DoorDash got hit.
Oh,
Okta got hit. Who else got hit? Authy got hit, right? I think they own Authy, or they purchased Authy. But yeah, all these bigger companies got hit from the Twilio breach, right? So they leveraged the information they had in that breach and then started phishing other companies.
so that's the part I don't understand clearly. So let's say I understand how we get into Twilio's Okta admin credential account. Then, once you're in that guy's account, you'll see like, this person has the rights to clients, 1 through 15. What of those clients is the hacker able to manipulate or take advantage of at that point? Do you know? Like, do they?
That I don't know specifically. I was assuming they were using the Twilio platform somehow, but that's an assumption. I don't know.
Because I don't know exactly how the Twilio backend works or like the admin portal for, clients. I definitely know you use some kind of API code integration, so there has to be some things like that in there. Oh, you know what it
Yeah,
is?
so the attackers gained access to Twilio's network using credentials belonging to multiple employees stolen in SMS phishing attack.
Yeah.
After discovering the intrusion, Twilio revoked the compromised employee credentials to block the attacker's access to its systems and started notifying affected customers. But before that happened, they were using the platform to attack other
Oh,
companies like
they got it.
DoorDash and Cloudflare and all that. Okta. So some of the companies that Twilio uh does work for, or some people that use Twilio are Coca-Cola, Salesforce, Dell, Twitter, VMware, Uber, Stripe, and eBay. A
I,
lot. Those are some
yeah,
big
a
names,
lot.
man.
Yeah, they're huge. It's huge because it's a very, very, very like useful service because it's like a little bit more difficult to just set up your own SMS server and start pinging your clients. Apparently, there's like a
Yeah.
lot of laws, regulations. If you're in healthcare, there's a whole lot of HIPAA stuff you got to make sure you're not accidentally doing, right?
Yep.
But I did understand this part though. So this is what makes sense now. So once you're like, let's say you're the admin at Twilio. Once you're in that account and you have access to client XYZ's account, right? Because you want to help them set up their account or, you know, integration stuff. There's obviously API information going, which has, authentication tokens and keys and stuff like that. So possibly they're able to manipulate that info to get into the client's environment. Because whatever Twilio's system is talking back to some server on the client side
Right.
to say, hey, server is saying, hey, Twilio, trigger this message. We got a recent order, trigger the message, right? So I don't know. But nonetheless,
Yeah. Still pretty interesting.
still pretty interesting.
And more just keeps coming out, right? Like this happened August 4th, and it's just it's like a constant stream every week of new information about it, right?
Yeah,
More
it's
more
crazy.
companies being hit by it. So
But it's interesting. This year, what do we start with? The beginning, was it this year or was it last year? Man, I can't tell. Time too flies by too quickly. The Solar Winds attack, when did that start? Was that
I think that was last year.
Yeah, I think that's
I
what really.
think, but I'm with you. Time is in a weird vortex right now
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure.
COVID. My brain doesn't work that well.
When was that attack? I feel
I'm
like
pretty sure it was 2021
this says
or like
2020.
the end of 2020.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. End of 2020, begin. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
What? What happened? I feel like did we have like one of those moments where what's that guy snaps his fingers in Marvel? Come on.
Thanos.
Thanos, did we vaporize and come back and we don't even know it?
I don't know, man. That Hadron Collider, I think it's doing some weird things.
For sure. For
Have you heard
sure.
about the Mandela effect?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know if I believe in it completely, but I heard about it.
I mean, my kids had this Pikachu character the other day they put together, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, didn't he have a black tip on his tail?
Which
Apparently
one?
not, but
Which
I'm
one? The
pretty sure
yellow
he
one?
did in
The
the
yellow
alternate
one?
universe that I'm from. Huh?
Pikachu, like the yellow one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Man, I feel like he did have a black tip on his tail.
Right?
Huh.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure he did, but according to the Mandela effect or according to history, that never happened, and I'm just making it up in my head.
Or here's another one for you, and I've been losing my mind on on this for a minute now. Are you ready for this? You remember that SNL skit with John Hamm where he's like wearing leather pants and suspenders, playing saxophone, curly hair?
No.
Ah, Sergio. It was that one.
Okay.
He like pops in like I don't know what the moment is. I'll show you. I'll put a link to everybody other.
I see
But
it. I see it.
this I could swear on everything in my life that this thing, all right, used to have the like when he would enter into the scene, it would be playing with the background music of I never wanna dance like you know that song?
No. I want to hear you sing some
Um
more.
man, I'm gonna find this. Anyway, so
Was it
now
Careless Whisper?
yes, it was he used to come playing Careless Whisper. And if you go on Google and you type it, there are some blogs about it, but I can no longer find any video that has a Careless Whisper audio on it.
So there was a guy who was doing this, and I mean, this is from the days of College Humor, if you remember that website. There was a guy who used to do this in his university, and he would go around and play. He would dress up looking like John Hamm. In fact, maybe they based it off of this, and he would play that song in the middle of like lectures and stuff. And he would like go to grocery stores and stand on like the conveyor belts.
Okay.
You don't remember seeing that at all?
No. Where? Say it again. Say it again.
It's called Sexy Sax Man. If you find that on YouTube, I'm pretty sure this might be what you're thinking of.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, see, so this guy got it from this came after Sergio.
I mean, this video on YouTube is 2011, but I would say this is probably early 2000s. When was John Hamm on?
Oh, I don't know.
We're so far off of security right now, but that's all right.
That's
You
all right.
guys are still listening. You like it.
This
We're all
is this
good.
is what we do anyway. Some security here and there, but look, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So this is
John
from
Hamm, look.
2013.
Okay, look, February 1st, 2010. Here's an article on RollingStone.com. John Hamm breaks out saxophone. Crazy Man Six Surgery, but this one doesn't say
Oh,
Careless.
2010.
I'm
Interesting.
telling you, like I know for a fact the universe has been, the Matrix. There's a error in the Matrix. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know, man. There's some weird stuff. I blame it on the Hadron Collider.
That may be. Maybe look, IMDb, March 28, 2011. Watch sexy saxman Sergio brings Careless Whisper to the masses. It's here in IMDb, but there's no video. All the old videos now have a different song on. So I don't know what happened there, but
I don't know.
conspiracy.
This is right up there with Rick Rolling, though, for sure. Like, just play this video whenever you want to prank someone. In fact, there was a great story. Gosh, it was a couple years ago. Well, must have been 6, 7 years ago now. DerbyCon.
Okay.
I forget his name, but it was something embracing the boogeyman was the talk. And man, I can't remember his name now. If you're listening, I apologize. But anyway, he would do these things where like the security team was right next to like the sales team, and the sales team would always leave their computers unplugged and stuff like that. And so they would or not plugged, unlocked, and so the security team would always play pranks on them, like putting Rickrolled videos on there and all that stuff. And they did one where they put like this goat wallpaper,
Okay.
and then every time the mouse moved, you'd hear this goat like goat noise or whatever. I don't know. It was just all kinds of weird stuff. I used to love doing pranks in the office. Good times.
Great times. I used to
Yeah.
always
But
do,
anyway, lock your screen is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to bring it back to security here.
yes, lock your screen. Lock your screen for sure. I remember in our office at Tevora, when I started there, when we were actually in the office, I was like in the SOC, which is behind a man trap, and then no one else in the entire company has access, right? I remember I left to go to the restroom one time, and you could still see kind of inside through the
The
fog
frosted
glass,
windows, yeah.
yeah, the frosted window, right? And my computer screen wasn't locked. And then I remember who came by to me like, "Oh, Cash, you forgot to lock your screen." I'm like, "Bro, man,
It's locked
behind the
behind two doors. One
one
requires
behind
a
the
fingerprint, and the other one requires a badge. I think we're good.
yeah." I'm like, "We're good, man."
And there's a camera that watches the entrance. Like,
Yup, exactly. And we got a camera.
so yeah,
But
I think you're good to leave it unlocked. Anyway,
but nonetheless, lock your stuff.
yeah,
Lock your
we had
stuff, don't
one.
click on stuff.
One time I put something on someone's machine, and it would like take control of the mouse every once in a while, or like open up their CD drive. This is back in like 2003
Oh my god.
or whatever. And the boss came over and asked that person to like show him something. So they're like trying to go through it, and this thing is just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh my god.
And the boss is just looking at me like pissed off because he knows that I did it, and he
Oh,
thinks that I'm
that's so
still
good.
doing it.
That's so
And
good.
I told him, I was like, I have no control over it. Like, it's just randomly doing these things. Like, you're gonna have to shut down. And it was so mad. I got in trouble for it. I think I got
Oh,
ripped
did
for it.
you?
Yeah.
That's so good. Worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah.
That's
In
so
my
good.
younger days, I did a lot of that stuff. And it was all worth it for sure.
Absolutely.
For
I
sure.
used to go on computers at Fry's and Best Buy when I was young, and would open Notepad really quick and create an auto run script that that would just keep opening the auto run script. So it was like two lines, I don't remember how it was, but like run,
Auto exec
start,
bat.
and then yeah, auto run dot bat, and then you just put the file name of the same file, and it just, dude, like within I think 2 minutes, that computer would just hang. It wouldn't take long.
That's awesome.
all the RAM would get eaten up real quick.
My greatest prank in the history of all of my computer pranks. So we had a printing room that was like across the hall from me.
Okay.
And in there like sat two people, and I think there was like some file cabinets, but that's where you went to go make copies and to print stuff, right? And this repairman came in one day, and do you remember those like long microphones that used to come with computers, like the Bob Barker Price is Right type
Yeah,
microphones?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so he comes in to
Mhm.
repair it, and nobody's looking, so I put a sign up that says now voice activated. And I put one of those microphones on top. And this lady, I can't remember her name now, but she comes over, she's like, Matt, can you help me do the copy machine? Like, I don't understand how it's voice activated. So I go over, and because I sat right inside the door on the other room right across the hall. So I go over there, and I'm like, yeah, you just say your name and how many copies. I was like, Matt, one copy. And as I leaned down to like hit to say it, I hit the button at the same time, right? And she
That's
didn't see it.
so good. That's so good.
So what was her name? It was like Marion, I think, or something like that. And so I was like, yeah, you're good. And I left and went back in the room, and everyone in the other room is just waiting because they know what's going on, right? And that room had like 15 people probably. And so you just hear her go, Marion, one copy. Marion, one copy. Marion, one, and she just keeps getting like
That's so
angrier
good.
and louder and louder. I got written up for that one too.
That's so good. How long was you doing it for?
A good 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
She
wrote you up
she
for
must
it?
have said her name and how many copies. I think probably 20, 30 times.
That's so soft. How many times like not how many times, who did she go snitch to? Like HR?
No, she went to my boss.
So
Good
good.
old Eleanor, if you're listening, look at me now. Yeah, I had a few of those. We had this is my last story, and then we'll wrap it up. But we had a big mouse problem at that place, like tons of mice all over the place,
Like
and
like like creatures or
yeah,
computer
like
wise?
little white mice,
Okay.
and gray mice. And they would like get into people's like ketchup packets that they were saving, and they'd eat those and they'd drag them into the printer and because it was warm in there. And so the company like hired a pest control place and they come and set traps and everything. And they
Okay.
set this like huge, I don't know, I'd say it's probably like 4 or 5 inches wide and probably 8 inches long, like a rat trap. I mean, these mice were like an inch, maybe 2 inches long, right? This
Okay.
huge rat trap's not going to catch that mouse. Like if the thing slapped shut, it's going to slap over the mouse. That's how small they were. And so I just thought it was ridiculous that they put this huge mouse trap there. So I grabbed an actual computer mouse and snapped the trap and put that mouse in the trap. And like the next day, the pest guy was like checking the traps, and he goes over to the printer and he pulls up the mouse by the cable, as if you're like holding a rat by its tail,
Gross.
stuck in this mouse trap. And he's just got this like WTF face, like what the heck is going on?
It's so good.
So then, like later that week, they call a meeting like just for my department, and my boss Eleanor looks at everybody and she's like, "Yeah, so we've had people messing with the mouse traps, and we need you to stop." And she's just staring right at me when she says it.
That's so good. That's pure Office Space moment right there.
Yeah, yeah, that place was definitely office space for sure. I had a cubicle and everything. All right, I'm done. We're way off topic, but hopefully, for those that are still listening, you enjoyed it.
And if you're not, whatever. You want to hear
The
this again.
title of this one's going to be Twilio hack and shenanigans.
And shenanigans. Ooh, I like that. That's it. That's it. Well, right on till next time then I guess. More hacks, Twilio. Good luck. If you don't know what Twilio is, now you do. Uh
If you have
protect
LastPass,
yourself.
change your password. If you have Plex, change your password.
And somebody from LastPass, if you listen to us, please get in touch with me.
Help a brother out.
Help me out, man. Help me out.
Stop racial profiling.
Something. Jeez. 2023 almost.
Yeah, come on, get with it.
Get with it. But right on. Till next time, Mrs. Mosley. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.